221-7283. Let's go to Muhammad. Muhammad is next. Hello, Muhammad.
Hey, how are you?
Good. What's on your mind?
Man, you really beat up on JD there. Is it post traumatic syndrome from your former partner at your previous show that you're suffering with? You can't chat nicely with somebody named JD? Is that what's happening?
No, I mean I chat nicely with people that deserve to. Like, for example, yesterday and the day before, I had a guy call in who's a big Trump supporter. I kept him on for 20 minutes. We didn't insult each other.
I listened.
Okay.
I listened.
So then you know that
actually very, very entertaining and very informative.
Good. So
and I
thank
thought you handled that well. So I just want to touch on a couple things JD said.
Okay.
So one of the things, and I know you're going to assume this is a conspiracy theory that I'm just floating out there, but I'm really not. I find it interesting that it wasn't a live televised interview, and Kamala Harris took the last 4 days off. And in my mind, I think they've produced this. And to say that you had 3 or 4 days to produce, cut up, and piece this interview together for people to not be overwhelmed, in fact, be underwhelmed with the result, should tell you who we're dealing with. This lady is not a great communicator.
And you think Donald Trump is a great communicator?
Oh, no. That's not what I'm doing. I'm not doing the Trump.
So here, so let's focus on Harris.
I'm going to go there.
Let's focus.
Okay.
The
other thing.
Hold on. One thing at a time.
That would be a reason why there were no transcripts, and I think that JD was on the right trail there.
Okay,
that's
so
probably why,
here's my issue with what you're saying.
This is a heavily produced movie by a
So
CNN Studios.
Okay, so everything
to the American people.
Okay, so here's my problem with what you're saying. First of all, everything you're saying is unproven, and there's no evidence to prove any of your opinions. Now, when you say, Brian, you're going to think this is a conspiracy theory. I don't call things a conspiracy theory if there's some proof or evidence to back it up. First of all, she had no notes in front of her. There's zero evidence that anything was scripted.
Why would you need notes when you get 6 or 7 takes to get it right?
Okay, again. Okay, let's go with that. Okay, let's go with that.
On TV and speak
okay,
live,
let's go with that. Stop. Muhammad, stop. First of all, where is your evidence that there were, quote, 6 or 7 takes for the question? Go.
My evidence is that it wasn't a live interview.
That's not my question. Hey, Mohammed, that's not my question. I'm going to ask it again. Why don't you take the MAGA wax out of your ears and listen? Where is your evidence, going by your own words, that there were 6 or 7 takes per question? Go.
Where's your evidence that there wasn't?
You're the one making the claim. Hey, MAGA.
Piece it together?
MAGA, you're the one making the claim, not me. Okay, I'm not the one making the claim. No, it's not okay. You're the one making the claim.
You're rebutting what I'm saying with no evidence.
What are you talking about?
Facts to go off of.
What are you?
One fact that is a reality is that it's a produced event. It wasn't a live interview. We only see what they chose to let us see. Can we agree on that?
Okay, so here's where you're 100% wrong. As my producer just pointed out to me, the full transcript is on CNN. So you and JD are dodo heads. They released the full transcript. So while you're on a radio station claiming me that the transcript isn't out there, and MAGA JD calls in and says, where's the full transcript? Hey, dodo head, the full transcript is on CNN right now. Do you need me to repeat that? Do you need 6 or 7 takes for me to get this through your MAGA head? Do you want me to repeat it 6 or 7 times? Hey, dodo head, the full transcript is on CNN. What do you have to say to that, MAGA?
3 repeats on dodo head. We got it.
I gave you 3 takes. I gave you 3 takes instead of 7. By the way, you still haven't answered my question.
So, regardless of any of that, earlier so it sounds to me like you're extremely impressed with how the interview went and that Kamala did extremely well.
No, I'm extremely impressed on how intelligent you are with your conspiracy theories and your opinions without any evidence to back up anything. I'm very impressed with you, sir. You're what? Yeah.
Here's one for you. Did Tim Walz ever deny that he misspoke when he said he carried arms in war?
Well,
no,
first of all,
no, he didn't. Did he?
20. I'm going to answer you.
Did he?
24 years in serving this country, and as a public official and as a governor, sometimes you're going to say things that, and I would call it a mistake.
Opportunity to say he misspoke.
Gotcha. So while So while I think he could have answered that question better, you being a MAGA supporter, every single day, Donald Trump lies intentionally. He still hasn't conceded the 2020 election. He still says he won. He says he's going to be a dictator on day one. Every single
That's
day,
not
Donald
true.
Trump, yes, he did.
You talk about people calling in with talking points. You really, really have adopted the talking point.
What did I say that was? What did I say that's not true? What did I say that's not true?
It's almost laughable that you claim to be an independent.
What did I say that's not true?
Don't tout your voting record.
What did I say?
Nobody wants to hear it.
What did I say that's not true?
I said you claim to be an independent.
I don't care.
Laughable.
I don't care what you think is laughable. I'm asking you a question. What did I say that's not true? A talking point is something that you either disagree with or I'm spewing out something that's not factually accurate. Donald Trump is the guy that still hasn't conceded the 2020 election.
I don't care about Donald Trump.
I know you don't.
Me supporting Donald Trump.
I know you don't.
Donald Trump.
I know you don't care about Donald Trump. Donald Trump could rape a child on TV and you would still vote for him and you would criticize Tim Walz because he misspoke. I know you don't care. You don't care that Donald Trump is a 34 count felon. You don't care that he's a liable rapist. You don't care what happened on January 6th. But God forbid if Tim Walz misspeaks, talking passionately about guns, that's something that Mohammed cares about. Mohammed, give me a break, man.
I care about the guy being honest. He had an opportunity.
Oh please!
To say,
oh please! Oh please! You being you care about being honest. You support Donald Trump. How could you care about anything with honesty in it?
Let me just say one more thing about Kamala Harris,
and then
I'll let you go. In the beginning of the interview, when she asked her about changing her positions, right? She very, very clearly stated, my beliefs have not changed. So that's signal calling to the Democrats, but saying that, yeah, we can still be energy independent and create energy that's okay.
I'm going to give you an analogy.
Without banning
Mohammed.
fracking, right?
Mohammed, I'm going to give you an analogy.
What she's saying is, oh, I'm not going to ban fracking completely, but I am going to continue to push this clean energy agenda, which essentially means getting rid of fossil fuels and fracking. Let's just be clear.
Okay, so
maybe you could be honest for a moment and admit that that's what she was doing.
I do find it interesting that you MAGA supporters, use the term honesty. But
I'm not a MAGA supporter.
Yeah,
you keep saying that.
I'm
You can call me whatever you want.
I'm sure you're not.
Just like you can call yourself an independent.
I'm sure you're not.
Everybody knows is a joke.
Oh, it's not a joke. Actually, it's not a joke.
You're a Democrat.
No, I'm not.
You're a Democrat.
No, I'm not.
Sheep's clothing.
No, I'm not. You're a racist. Okay, but I'm going to start from square one here, and I'm going to make an analogy that even somebody like you might understand. She said, I'm still in my core beliefs and values. I haven't changed. So I'm going to give you an analogy where I think.
Who was she speaking to when she made that statement?
When your wife,
hold on. Who was she signaling to?
I don't know.
Why would you make that statement instead of just saying,
hold on,
I've changed my position.
I'm going to give you.
I think fracking is fine, but I also think pursuing clean energy is a better solution going forward.
I'm going to give you an analogy.
She's trying to straddle the fence, keep her base happy, knowing that, hey, I still believe in that.
Hey, Mohammed.
My core beliefs are there.
Hey, Mohammed.
But we can have a little bit.
Hey, Mohammed. How about shut up and let me talk? What do you think about that for 20 seconds? Can we do that? Thank you. I appreciate it.
Go for it.
Oh,
go for it.
That's
I'm channeling my best Chris Wynn.
Yeah, well, it's very kind of you to let me talk on my own show. Thank you so much. I'm going to give you an analogy that I think somebody like you can understand. I would imagine every woman that you've ever met in your life, when they saw you naked, they probably were turned off and they probably never wanted to see you naked again. Now, it doesn't mean that women can't fall in love with you. Like if you have a woman that falls in love with you, they'll say, hey, I love you for who you are. I doubt that would be true with any woman in your life. But let's just say hypothetically, you do have a woman that loves you. They're still going to stick to their core value that even though they love you and they care about you, they're not physically attracted to you and they maintain their core values. Does that hit home for you, Mohammed? Does that make sense? That analogy?
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, maybe you should talk a little bit about your girl Kamala's position on Israel. Since you're Jewish, how do you feel about their position on Israel? Because
I feel fine with it.
I find it hard to believe that you'd support what they're doing.
So what are they doing? What are they doing?
Really?
Really? What are they doing?
You're good with it?
I'd
like you to declare now that you're comfortable and 100% support the way Biden and Harris have handled.
I'll answer that, and I'll answer that. I'll answer that. Okay. First off, because then we got to take a break. I'm running late here. She has maintained, as Joe Biden has maintained, Israel has a right to defend themselves. Hamas is a terrorist organization. They've been around since the mid-'80s. She talked extensively about Hamas, how they need to be conquered. With that being said, we have a lot of innocent people that have died in Gaza. A lot of innocent Palestinians have died, including young children. And Israel also has a responsibility for the least amount of casualties. Now, it's a very complex and difficult issue because you have Hamas infiltrating themselves around innocent Palestinian people. Very difficult. What we can say is that a two-state solution would work. Now, I'm not saying that there would never be any more terrorist attacks. A ceasefire would save lives. I 150% back the Harris-Biden administration and their position on the Israel-Palestinian conflict. And I would also say my analogy to women in your life, I think, probably hit home to you, sir. I appreciate the call, Muhammad. Thank you so much. Here's what we have to do now. I know I have a lot of other people on hold. Got to take a break. Ileana Dropkin's going to be joining us here for the next segment. Get her thoughts on the interview. Also, Joe Walsh's opinion on this interview. We'll get to his audio coming up here in a few. Nelson, Joseph, Stephen, Mark, we'll get to all your calls coming up next at 702-221-7283. Muhammad, I hope you have a nice day. And as I say to JD, I will also say to you, make sure you take off that those Donald Trump knee pads before you go to sleep, my friend, because you are complicit and you are in denial. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back right after this. It's Pushing the Limits. Before